denominational life. But in church life, if it's an established environment, we all know that we're going to hear those words from time. Well, what? We've tried that before, right? That didn't work before. Okay, and some of the gatekeepers or some of the guardians, they're concerned about risking and so on. So we know that's the case, and although we are coming at this from different angles sometimes we are attractional. We're attractional churches hoping to get more people in the door. In other cases, we're out missionally. However you want to define that. I always see it as a both and. So even like yesterday we were saying, yeah, if we had more people coming to our worship gatherings, that would feel like a win. And we would have, it's just like this dude, right? Saying, okay, there's something I'm willing to go to. This is the first part of my journey. So I want to show you, I just want to remind you about a couple of things, and I'm going to show you a little planning tool. Now, let's push beyond self-preservation right now for a moment. Okay, so this has to do with getting more people to your worship service. Okay, so that's what this is about. But this is the advocating for special Sundays. Now, what comes to mind for you all when I say special Sundays? Okay, now wait, who said that? Who said it? John. Okay, go ahead, John. Now, and total messing with me because you should be over there. Okay. But, okay, what would be an example? You just said, say it louder for all of us to hear.
Well, special Sunday for us have been a friendship Sunday, but we try to do one a quarter now.
Okay.
But not a friendship Sunday every quarter. We do a sports day.
Okay.
It's a special Sunday, and we do a harvest festival. And help me out, ladies.
Christmas, Easter.
All right. Now, okay, cool. So I'm going to give you some basic principles on that. But basically, John, this would be like kind of an all hands on deck. Remember, we've got the special thing. Y'all invite all your people, and you get a little bit of a surge or some surge on those days. Now, Carrie's eyebrows just went up like, oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, so have you seen surges through that? Okay. Now, we know a crowd is not a church. Okay. But what you are doing you're broadcasting in a sense more persons apiece, right? I mean, there's more people who get the word out there, and there's some people, it's a one and done, right? But for other people, I mean, I don't know if I don't want to speak for Hilltop, but you've seen the surge and then maybe pulls back, but been stronger in terms of attendance. Because what we're doing is we're giving people chances to reboot rather than and even, people who faded away, et cetera, but we're giving people in a sense, kind of a dignified way to step back up. Okay, what else comes to mind with special Sundays? I'm going to give you some principles that you can apply, and then I'm going to show you a little planning process, okay? Okay. Consider the three-humped camel. Anybody know what I'm talking about here? Let me show you what the three-humped camel is. Yeah. We'll pull. Let's see if I can do it here. Basically, here's what we're going to say. There are certain times of the year that are especially good for surges. Okay? And there are certain times of the year that are better for non-surges. Okay? Let me show you. Yeah. Now, I'm going to show you how it works in Wisconsin, where I live. But you have your own cadence for where you live. Okay, and that's what you got to figure out. Now, maybe in your world it's a two-hump camel, but I'm going to suggest, at least where I'm from, it's a three-hump camel. And what we're going to do is sort of timeline this out. So let's just say We would say probably, at least in Wisconsin, we would say the calendar year looks like this: September, October. You know the names of the months, don't you? Do they have, is it 12 out here, 12 months? Yeah.
Early summer, midsummer, late summer, and next summer.
All right. Okay, so that's really bad, but you understand what I'm saying. All right. Now, I am going to put a little a dash line here, or dotted dash line here, okay? And all I'm going to suggest is that during some parts of the year, you want to be more seeker sensitive. And during some parts of the year, you want to be, what's a good way to say that? Yeah, let's just say you want to be more coalescent discipling. You know, okay, let's just say discipling. Okay, so like for instance, a series on giving, financial giving, right? You can do, I would suggest everything you do, you want to have a seeker sensitivity to it, right? But I'm just saying you're not going to send out direct mail pieces, you know, about the whole giving thing, okay? But you might do, I don't care, whatever, direct mail, whatever. That doesn't work, this doesn't work, that doesn't, fine. But it might be like missing pieces to the piece you're missing, or rebuilding after tragedies, or, you know, whatever those things are, okay, that we would say are seeker sensitive. They address a felt need out in the world. Now, I'm going to say those seeker sensitive side. This is a 3-hump camel. One is definitely, you know, this time of year, this September back to school time. Now, I know that some places, including in the West Coast, you have kind of this regular, you know, kind of like year-round schools, right? I don't know if that's true for you, but is summer generally considered a getaway time? Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, so we're going to say this is the September back to school. What is it? School starting up, football starting up, stuff is starting up again, back to school. Another time is this December to January era, you know, which is the Christmas season. Okay. And again, you all tell me what the humps are. Okay, because you might say this hump really goes. Now, the thing is, like in Wisconsin, October and into November doesn't quite play fair because people are getting away to the cottage one more time. You know, everybody's like, you know, winter's coming, and you're like, kind of in this denial, or in this, let's grab our last piece of it. You know, let's grab the last piece of before the weather makes us be indoors. Okay, but, you know, Christmas, of course, that's kind of a thing. Now, I'm going to suggest, you know, like January is definitely a disciple time. And then you have what? You got Easter to Mother's Day. So that's the latest Mother's Day you'll ever see. Okay. But this is just all to say that, like where I live, right, this is how you plan a calendar, right? So you're saying there are some times that you really want to think through seeker sensitivity. Now, here's the beauty of having a cohort. Is there's more brain power and experiential power here than, I mean, there's tons of experiential brain power, camaraderie in this room. So what I would be saying is, okay, consider the 3-hump camel. To me, the ideal time to do a giving series would be when? Well, you tell me when. Like, you know, January. Of course, January, right? And you know, hey folks, it's not about what the church needs, it's about what the Lord wants. All right? But given that, we're gonna go through this journey during January. And if you've not ever read, this is my it's an old book. It's 10 years old now. It's as old as Kairos. It's church planting landmines, but I guess some really good stuff in there on that. Okay, so here's your planning calendar. Okay, now in Wisconsin, the way, nobody in Wisconsin, by the way, even starts to plan anything until the National Football League schedule comes out. And it'll be a little different. I know it'll be a little different probably in SoCal. It's a little more, there's more to do. But back there, what we've got is, we've got the Packers, and every time the Packers win a playoff game, it means winter got a little bit shorter. But seriously, you'd be a fool to put on your church hot dog fest or food truck. I don't care, but you'd be a fool to do that if it conflicts with a game. And I know that, we're on the West Coast, so it's 2 hours different and all this. But I'm telling you, it's like, the white plume of smoke that comes up from the Sistine Chapel when they choose. That's how it is in Wisconsin when the football schedule comes out. Everybody's racing and going, okay, and then you got to fill all this in. Word, okay, so you think about, okay, and you're dead and false. So you figure out what this is. But I'm telling you what, like even in Wisconsin, and everybody, you see, in Wisconsin, if you do not have a vacation home on a lake, your best friend does. I mean, everybody does. So you're always getting away. But I had a friend who said, we're going to cancel the summer in that sense. Now, there's a funny way in which you have to have the fortitude in your own heart to say, okay, people are getting away. And awesome. I mean, I want them to get away. I want them to get to a lower gear in their life. But what they would do is they would plan ahead of time a surge event in the summer. Now here we're saying food truck, but they would do things like, one year they got a camel there.
A 3-hump camel.
It was a camel. that was nicely done. But yeah, but they would, and then one year he got a circus elephant there. They're just doing funny stuff to be a little attractional and being kind of silly. But okay, now I want to give you the rest of the principles here because I want you to see how you might use a planning tool. Okay, so you grade out your Sundays. That's essentially what we're doing. Okay, you say, here's my A, B, C, D Sundays. You can figure that out. But the A Sundays particularly are when you want to plan attraction. But what we want to do along with the planning of that attraction is we want to build momentum. So don't think it's only about getting a bunch of people there on a Sunday. Okay. You can consider a draw element. Okay, now we heard Tim say, well, you've got, you could do the food trucks, but it depends. You might have a personality of some sort that you can bring to get people there. An athlete, a celebrity of some sort. Now, here's the thing, do not overlook this. You never give anybody else the microphone. You can interview them, but you don't give them the microphone. Are there exceptions? Let me put it this way. No. And that is, they can go wacky on you. It's happened. I know a guy in Northern Cal, they got a San Francisco 49er back when the 49ers had such great runs. But they had this dude come over, and he was giving his testimony. He was walking up and down the aisles rebuking people for not bringing more people. The wheels just were going off. Okay, so there's that. But back to this last point about what you really want to do is you want to showcase what's going on at your church in a positive way. Okay, so again, now John, I don't know how you all are doing at Hilltop, but I would say the degree to which you prevent this from being a one and done is helpful. So if the best thing is to do a let's just say Christmas. Let's say you want to do an outreach thing for Christmas, but whatever that Christmas big thing is, or Easter is even a better example, but whatever that Christmas big thing is, like let's say the children's program. By the way, that's the one Sunday when you don't say, if you're here as a newcomer, don't feel any obligation to participate in the offering. When you get all the grandparents there, see, what you want to do is say, who could ask for anything better than this? The ushers come forward at this time to receive our offering. Yeah. Cha-ching. All right. Was that recorded? It's already tweeted. It's already out there. Yeah, nice. Here's all I'm saying is that try to make that special Sunday the first Sunday of a seeker-sensitive series. Is that tracking me? Any elaboration on that? So if it's a 3 or 4 week series, hey, we're so glad that you're here today as we inaugurate this series on starting over. What better time? At this blah blah blah. We're doing so over the next 4 weeks. Today we're talking about starting over with your this. Next week it's starting over with your that. And so on and so forth. And aren't we glad that today we can welcome former NFL player such and such, so and so, because we want to talk about this very issue, what it's like to do a reboot, which is a word that I use. As of about a half an hour ago, yeah. But that sounds like a great series, by the way. Reboot, But, and we're going to interview such and such to talk about this, What is it like, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Because if I don't have everything up here that I want to, I'll see if I can. Oh, this is really good. Use giveaways to capitalize on follow-up. I did an interim pastorate at a church this last year that was trying like crazy to just be digital. Like, okay, if you're interested, sign up at our website. If you'd like to get on our connections, I am a big believer in paper. Okay, so the whole idea of sign up this, that. And, I don't know how you're doing it, but I still am a believer in, hey, we have a connections card. We want to ask everybody this week to fill this out. If you've not been doing that, there are just ways you start to train your church to do that. But that's not our discussion here. But I would say this, that okay, how about giveaways? I know somebody, they did a series. It was a seeker-sensitive series, and they called it Games People Play. And it was about, becoming more authentic, normal, liberated people. Something like that. But they did the series was based on board games. And you could think of some board games right now that you could probably have what are some popular board games? You could say Monopoly, such and such. Monopoly, learning to give other people their space. I don't know. Give us an hour and we come up with a series, right? But risk, yeah, aggravation, sorry, learning to apologize. In fact, I'm going to show you. You have to hold me to this guy. I have to show you this 5 gears tool before we're done, and that's something I can send to you. I'm capitalizing on giveaways, yeah, but the crazy excitement that people had when we said, okay, we want you to, or filling out the thing, this kind of that, whatever. But the craziness people had to receive a $15 or $20 board game, it was like The Price is Right, So, so capitalize on those kind of things. They're just really, really simple, and use this in your dream time. Now, what we're going to do in a little bit is we're going to just ask you to go as churches, just talk about this a little bit, okay? And I don't think, Stan, I'm going to ever have the time to do all this Post-it notes thing, but I'm going to show you all how to do it. So originally I was going to put us in a kinetic energy thing where you were going to actually be doing some stuff. But oops, come on. Okay. I mentioned this already. Okay. I would say, as a general rule, when we're doing outreach Sundays, these are the anytime you're or outreach series, anytime you focus on these three things, you can't go wrong, which is God's love, God's power, God's forgiveness. Most of the hassles in this world can be boiled down to, can be addressed by these issues. Okay, could God really love me? If people, if you really knew my story, would you really believe that God would love me, or that you could love me? God's love, God's power, that there can be breakthrough for daunting circumstances, and God's forgiveness. Okay.